In this video, I'm going to show you a curated list of the 5 best SwiftUI Vue extensions. Each extension on this list not only simplifies complex tasks, but also elevates the overall SwiftUI experience. I will build them out one by one so you understand how they work and why they are so amazing. Make sure to watch till the end because I'm going to surprise you with a bonus 6th one. Let's get started. Here are my 5 best Vue extensions that you can use right away. First is the squared. So usually when you want to, let's say, have a color right over here, so color dot teal, you would just add a frame with a width and height, let's say 100 by 100. Alignment, we don't care at this point. So you just have 100 and 100 right over here. Those are 2 numbers. I like to simplify things. I would like to have frame with a square of length and 100. Just that. So let's just create that first extension. Let's have the extension on the view right over here. Of course, you should just definitely move this into another file of view extensions or something called like that. So first, let's create a function called frame. And I'm going to name the outer property square, just like that. And it will have a length, so I can use this inside our function as the inner property, and that is a CG float. And that would be optional because if we set nil right over here, it would just use some default values, and then this would return some view as usual. So some view. Of course, we are just going to simply set the self dot frame. So frame with width and the height, and then we just say length and length. And what about the alignment? Well, let's just go and add the alignment also right over here. Let's jump to definition and let's see what is that. Well, it's of type alignment and it has the default value of center. So let's just have alignment of type alignment dot center is our default value, and then we just pass along the alignment. So now when I try to have a square, we're just going to have frame square, and I can use the one with the without the alignment, just say 100, and that's it. It's simple as that. That is my first SwiftUI Vue extension. The mentoring sessions at rebeloper.com/mentoring for SwiftUI developers are nothing short of extraordinary, offering an unparalleled opportunity for growth and mastery in the world of app development. Whether you're a beginner seeking foundational skills or an experienced developer aiming for mastery, these mentoring sessions redefine the learning experience, ensuring that every participant emerges with not just technical expertise, but also the confidence to conquer any SwiftUI challenge. It's not just mentoring, it's a transformative partnership that propels developers towards greatness. I just can't wait to mentor you. The link is down in the description. The second one is something to do about the type of layouts that we use with views. So there are 2 types, basically 2 types of views inside SwiftUI. The pull-in views that wrap everything around themselves, and the push out views. Now sometimes you want to make a pull in view like this text, for example, push out view, the one that is taking up as much space as it can. So how can we do that? Let's create that function right over here. We want to name this function as push out view. There we go, as push out view, or maybe just make that O capitalized. And what we are going to do, first of all, let me just have that return view, and let's just add that self over here, so we're not going to have any warnings for now. So what we are going to do is put this pull-in view inside the Z stack, and that Z stack will have a push-out view as one of its layer, basically the background layer. Let's call it the background layer. So we do need some sort of a background layer with a push out view, and a color is a push out view, so we are going to use that. So background background is our property, and it is of type color, and most of the cases you don't want to set this color actually, setting it to blue, red, whatever. You just want to make this view a push out view. Therefore, we are going to set a default color of clear inside this initializer. Then we want to move this self into that Z stack. So let's select that word, actually the whole code that we want to incorporate into the Z stack, and add an opening curly brackets, and this will have this nice auto completion Z stack. I just add it in there, and then I add that background right over here. So now you take a pull in view like a text and make it a push out view, reaching all the way out as push out view, just like that. We can just have a background if you choose to, but now this hello world text will reach out as far as it can. So that is as push out view. Let's go further, and my first tip is the hidden functionality. Now we do have a hidden view modifier with SwiftUI that is actually just going to hide that element. We want this to be dynamic. We want to have a boolean attached to it. So let's create a new function, and that is hidden. There we go. And again, it will return some view. There you go. And we want to have a toggle, a switch. We are going to name this should hide. So should, no, two spaces, should hide, and that is of type boolean. Now you are going to see that I'm going to add in here a state variable, which is really nice, so we can just toggle that is hidden on and off. So is hidden, well, we just switch through our should hide, and we have two cases, of course. Case true, there we go. Case true, we are going to grab self and set hidden on it, and then we have case false, and we are going to set the self on it. So if it's set to false, we should not hide it. If it's set to true, we are going to hide it. Now we have actually an error right over here because we are returning different types of views. First self.hidden, and then just self. To fix this, we are going to add a view builder at the beginning of our function, and therefore we can return multiple types of views. Okay, so how would this work? Let's say we want to hide this color teal with a frame of squared the dot 100. Well, first of all, we need a state modifier, a state property wrapper at state private var, and I'm just going to call this is color hidden, something like that. And by default, let's just set this to false. Okay, is with a capital C. Okay, is color hidden. Now we want to add a toggle, for example, and I'm going to use the one with the title and is on. It's fairly simple. Now is color hidden, and I'm going to bind this to the is on, so is color hidden. Next up, finally, we are going to say is with a dot is hidden. And now you can see that we can provide the should hide with a binding, or no, not a binding. We're just providing the actual current value of the is color hidden. And let's just build and run and see how all of this works. Well, actually, we are going to also see the push out view and the frame. Let's select my iPhone 15 simulator. Let's build and run, and let's see that. First of all, we should see the globe and the text all the way up here. So it's not centered. This hello world is taking up as much space as it can. And let's just add maybe a background color of red, so we can actually see the whole space that it's trying to take up. Now here we have this color. It's squared, which is really nice. And then let's just toggle this. It's hidden. Now it's not. Now it's hidden. It's really nice. Okay, so that is number 3. The dynamic is hidden. Now for number 4, I just want to make sure that we add view modifiers on a condition. Now we are also going to tackle the if with a view. So if there is a Boolean value that is set to true, we are going to show a view, otherwise we should not. But, and that's straightforward, but what if we want to link this to a view modifier? Like, let's say I want to make this frame.square only if this, we're going to add another toggle. So let's have this duplicated. So is frame squared? Let's just name that, is frame squared. Okay, so we're going to add this only if the frame should be squared. Now, how would we do this? We actually don't know, because we need to create that view modifier. So let's go all the way down and let's create a new function called if. It's just going to return again some view. There we go. And adding self over there so we don't have any warnings. But actually we are going to have, because the keyword if cannot be used as an identifier here. So how can we make sure that we actually can use it? Well, we add this if into 2 tildes. It's really a really cool trick right over here. So what we want to do actually is see if there is a condition that is met. We are going to transform ourself with a view modifier. Otherwise, we are just going to return self right over here. So right off the bat, because we are going to return 2 different things, we are going to add that view builder right over here. And then we are going to add the content, which is some sort of view. So let's make this content of type view, and you will see how I'm going to use this in just a second. So let's add first the condition. So condition, and we are going to have this kind of auto closure. You will see how that works in just a second. So auto closure, we are going to have this Boolean closure right over there, and then the transform. This is where the magic happens. So let me just type this out so you can see this easily. Transform. This will be again a completion that is going to return our content that I was talking about. Yes, you do need to return some sort of view, but right over here, this is where the magic happens. We're going to add self with a capital S. So now, instead of just returning self with a small f, we're just going to switch through the condition. So if else through the condition. So condition. There we go. It's a closure, so we need to add those 2 parentheses. We are going to say transform self, the view. Else, we are going to just simply return self. And that's all to it. So let's see this in action. So let's add another toggle right over here. Let's make the duplicate right over here. So is frame squared? Frame squared. There we go. And we're going to bind it to is frame squared. Now I'm going to add this view modifier. Let's just maybe move it down second line. It does the same thing. So I want to add this frame only if the toggle is on. The is frame squared Boolean is set to true. So we are just going to say dot if, and by the way, I'm just going to comment this out so it has the right completion. So if, and now you have this view modifier. So if a condition, and I say is frame squared, we're going to transform, hit return. Here in the completion, we're going to get back a view. So I'm just naming it view. The view here, what we have is actually this view before the view completion. So the if completion, if before the if view modifier. So I'm just going to grab my view and add whatever view modifier I want to add in there. So that could be multiple ones. It doesn't really matter. Now, let's just build and run and see how this looks like. So we have the color teal. First of all, hello world, push out view, and then the color teal. They are going to compete with each other. Therefore, they are going to take up as much space in height. They are going to have that same height in space. So now, if I just toggle the is frame squared, the color tier will become the squared of 100 each length on each size, and now we will see a resizing in both of the views. So there we go. You can see it's really nice. Isn't that wonderful? It's so cool, right? So, and also we can just set this to hidden, but the effect still takes place. Really nice. And now we have come to my fifth tip, and make sure to stay till the end because I have a bonus tip. Let's have some view replaced with some other view. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's see that let's have another toggle right over here. Well, not a toggle, just a state variable. So let's say like is red color. So let's use this color red on this color. So what we're going to do is say if is red color, else, there we go. We're going to move this color teal with everything, it doesn't really matter, right over here. Otherwise, let's just show a color dot red. Let's see how this looks like. And also, let's add a toggle. So duplicate right over here is red color, and then $ is red color. Let's see how this looks like and how it behaves. So first of all, this is set to false, therefore this teal will show. Otherwise, the red color will show. It's really self-explanatory. Now, I don't really like this if else right over here with those brackets. It's kind of a pyramid of doom. If we add another if, another if, another if, it will look ugly really soon. So let's create a view modifier for that. So right over here, let's have something called replace with a condition. So let's have the function called replace. And again, we are going to return some view, of course, and then self. Okay, so we don't have any issues with the wordings. So what we are providing here again is a content. So let's just have that content added right over here, and then the condition. So if condition, that's of type Boolean, okay. And then we are going to add that content. Now, this is not going to be a transform like we did with the if view builder, what we have created right over here. It's just going to be simply at view builder, and then content, and we're just going to have a content with 1T. We're just going to have a simple completion right over here of type content. Now, this has to be at escaping. There we go. Okay, so yes, we have set everything up. Now it's time to check if condition, and we are going to say we are going to return our content if the condition is set to true, else we are going to return self. And again, because we are returning different types of views, we want to add at view builder just over there. So now we can replace all of this madness with the following code. So I'm just going to comment it out, and then I'm going to, let me just copy first and then comment it out so you can see the difference. So I'm going to add dot replace if, now the condition is red color, and then the content will be color red. You see, we are just completely replacing that teal color with its frame and all of that stuff. So is color red? There we go. Teal, red. Really, really nice. Okay, that was my fifth one. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you a sixth really, really powerful view extension. Now, you know when we have this dot on appear and we are just going to perform something. Let me just use my preferred way of this view modifier. So we just say print on appeared. And usually you don't want to add crucial code right over here, like fetching some data from the server, because this on appear might and will definitely be triggered multiple times. So when the view is reconstructed or just constructed for the first time, this on appear will be triggered. So and of course SwiftUI is going to deconstruct and reconstruct your views at will. You don't really know how many times this on appear will trigger itself. But you also want to, let's say, fetch some data from the server when this content view appears. And you want that only once, when this view appears for the very first time. So how do you do that? Well, we are going to create a view modifier that is called onFirstAppear. So for that, we are going to, and there's a trick to it. You need to store the first appearance on a state variable. So a simple view extension will not cut it. We need to create a actual view modifier. So let's just type out here view modifier and let's use the auto completion right over here. And you can see it added quite a lot of stuff. So let's just name this on appear modifier. There we go. On appear modifier. Okay, so first of all, we need to get rid of all of the default code that this view modifier adds to our content, and we don't need the preview. Okay, so let's get rid of that also. So what do we actually want to do? Well, we want to have this on appear with a perform right over there after the content, because this will be added, this view modifier will be added to our content, you know, the content view, for example. So what we need over here is somehow to store that first appear, and it's easy as adding a state variable. It will be private, so we cannot access it. Private var on appear called. There we go, and the initial value is set to false. So we want to do some sort of an action right over here when this view appeared on the first time. So let's add that action. So I'm going to make this private because I'm just going to create a custom initializer for this. Private let action. And I'm going to do the same type of action that the onAppear has, and it looks like this. So a completion, an optional completion, there we go, and of type. There we go. So now it's time to add that initializer that I was talking about. So init, and yeah, let's just have this, and then I'm just going to clean it up. So we don't need the onAppear called, you know, it has to be private. Instead of the action, I'm going to have something called perform. And again, I'm just following the onAppear conventions right over here. We are going to have right over here escaping void. Well, we want to remove the escaping because this should be set by default to nil. Therefore, we don't need that as escaping. Okay, so let's remove this. We don't need that, and then just move the action that we give in the initializer to the property right over here. So let's finally use this. So first of all, we want to make sure that this is not set to true, because if it is, the first onAppear already took place, so we don't want to do anything. So if not on appear called, we want to do something. Well, we just say onAppear called, setting it to true, so this should never be executed again, and then we just say action, just do the action. And with this cool trick, the onAppear action will be performed only once. Okay, so this is a really nice view modifier, but we would just need to call it something like this, like modifier, and then on appear modifier with a perform. It's not good. I want to create an actual view modifier, an extension on the view. So let's create that extension on the view right over here separately, because just using this custom view modifier that I have created, and I'm going to call this on first appear. There we go. It has to return some view as usual, and let's just have self for now right over here. So basically what I'm going to do is just move all of the functionality that I have created right over here in the initializer into the functions properties. So let's just copy that out and paste it in there, and then just go self dot modifier on appear modifier with a perform. We're just going to move the action into that view modifier, and that's it. So now when we are going to, on appeared, and then let's just have on first appear, we just say print and on first appeared. Okay, so we are not going to actually be able to test this because this is on the content view only. We are not navigating away, but as you can see, on appeared has been added, on first appeared has been added also. If you just navigate away and come back, only on appeared will be printed out and not on first appeared. Now, this is really, really cool. Those were the 6 cool tricks that I can add onto my SwiftUI projects with view extensions. And if you do like these tips, make sure to check out also my mentoring. The link is down in the description.